Hi there, this is Justin Krane, Certified Financial Planner Professional and founder of Krane Financial Solutions. Welcome to Money You Got This. So how can you really live? How? By uniting your business money, your personal money with your life and your business. Word up.
Krane Financial is an SEC-registered investment advisor. However, such registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and no inference to the contrary should be made. A copy of our current written disclosure statement discussing our advisory services and fees is available upon request. Information contained herein is for informational and illustrative purposes only, and general in nature. It should not be considered specific financial planning or investment advice, or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of securities or other investment products.
Hey everyone, welcome to Money You Got This. This show is brought to you by Krane Financial Solutions. I'm Justin Krane. I'm a certified financial planner professional. I offer investment management services and do financial planning. I'm also the author of the book, Money You Got This. You should get it. It's on Amazon. I'm psyched you're listening to the show. I want to give you this free report, 3 things multimillionaires do to grow their wealth. Just go to coolmoneyshow.com to grab it. That's coolmoneyshow.com to grab it. Thanks. Anyways, enough about me. Let's kibitz with someone who is super cool, who knows a lot about money. I actually go way back with her, but she doesn't know it because I know her hubby. Her name is Carrie Casden. She's a business manager. Welcome to the show, Carrie.
Thank you, Justin. Great to be here.
Good to have you. So for those of you who don't know what a business manager is, Carrie's a business manager. She works at Summit Financial. She has an expertise on money coaching as well as traditional business management. So before we get into money coaching and money mindset, can you tell the world what business management is?
Sure. The simplest way that I describe it is business management deals with all of your day-to-day financial affairs. So everything from budgeting to paying bills, to deposits, to coordinating payroll, to helping clients get cars, to helping clients when they're doing a home purchase or selling homes. Anything that you do, we do for clients.
Cool. So it's like a concierge.
It's kind of like a concierge. Yes.
And how long have you been doing it for?
I've been doing it for, I'm embarrassed to say, like 25 years. So
wow.
I started when I was like 10.
Exactly. So you're getting into, or you've gotten into money coaching, and is there such a thing as a certified financial coach?
There is, a couple years ago, I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
And you always see how different people spend money and who saves and who,
Sure.
no matter what they make, who overspends. So I was always intrigued by that. And I have a little background in psychology. So I started to explore it. And there is this woman, Deborah Price in Northern California, who has a money coaching institute. So I became a certified money coach through her program. And it's fascinating. I can't tell you how it helps with financial planning.
Sure.
Understand where a person comes from. It's easier to help them, get to where they want to go.
So here you are doing business management and you're getting into money coaching. What was the draw? Like, why did you do it? What was the spark for you?
The spark for me was really just interest, because again, there's certain clients that no matter what you do, they always spend. And I just was always interested in the why. Why do they spend? Why? And, it's really easy to say, oh, well, they have a lot of money and they have a lot of free time. So that's just how they fill their days. So it wasn't until I really started looking at this and we go back and we go through a whole process of understanding their whole childhood and what they saw modeled with their mom and with their father. And, it brings up, it's always a lot deeper than you think. A lot of it, we kind of know some of the reasons people spend, but they don't always know. So they get in touch with those emotions and they get in touch with those patterns. And once they get in touch with them, they're able to make small steps to change it.
Through your help, right?
Through my
So here you are doing traditional business management. Yes. You get into money coaching. You learn about spending, and let's just go with someone that spends too much versus someone that doesn't because they're a poverty thinker or they're afraid to lose or whatever. But you're providing a service to a client. They're paying you. It's a great relationship.
Mhm.
you're expanding your own universe in learning and getting into money coaching, you start to bring up these spending questions, or you see these patterns. And now all of a sudden you're faced with this decision of, oh boy, do I want to go down this path, and how am I going to do it yet be professional? So
Right.
talk about that.
Well, and another thing, part of the reason I also started doing this is started working with a lot of mostly women going through divorce.
Hmm.
These women are going through divorce. For a lot of them, their financial life is about to change. And what's so interesting is some of their patterns with money are what got them in trouble even in their relationship. So, if they always have their head in the sand and they
Yeah.
don't want to be accountable for any of their money behaviors, it also spills over sometimes in their relationship behaviors and just
Mhm.
general behaviors that maybe cause a little strife in their relationship. So, and it helps them not feel like a victim. I can't tell you how, I had a client one time and she was in a bad marriage and she wanted out. She was lonely, wasn't so nice to her, all of the reasons she wanted out. Okay, fine. She knew she'd be walking away from a certain lifestyle. She wasn't going to be poor. She was still going to have another lifestyle, but now she had to make some choices. So, in the beginning it was like, I'm a victim. It's not fair. I'm sure you hear that. It's not fair that I can't do this anymore. It's not fair that I can't do that. I said, wait a second. You had a choice to make. What's your freedom worth? What's your
Mhm.
peace of mind worth?
Mhm.
When we did that, when you reframe it with them, well, you can do this, but maybe right now you don't want to do it. Maybe you want to make some different choices for the next chapter of your life. All of a sudden you see the shift where somebody goes from feeling like a victim to feeling empowered.
Yeah.
It's really powerful for people.
That must make you feel good.
It makes me feel great. I mean,
Yeah.
I really love to do it so much. I mean, like I said, it goes hand in hand with the business management.
Yeah.
But I, could have also been a psychologist very easily. And I think I would have had a very happy life.
Carrie, you are a psychologist. I mean, who are you fooling? You are, and I am. We're all psychologists in business doing something else, but really psychology. But I want to get back to this question because I really want to go deeper on this.
Yeah.
You're doing business management, you're seeing someone spend a little bit more. How do you get into that mindset coaching of the spending conversation? Do you ask their permission? Do you just kind of tell them? Do you use what you're learning from the Money Coaches Institute? Do you just roll with it and just go for it, or what?
I roll with it and go for it. And I think that, listen, that one thing that sets me apart, and I'm sure the reason that people don't like working with accountants is they say, oh, they're so dry and they're so
Yeah,
boring and they're just the
yeah,
numbers.
yeah,
But when you're working with someone, you really know their personality and you
sure.
know how far you can push and you know how to take baby steps to have those difficult conversations. And when somebody really believes you're on their side and you're not judging them, they don't want to feel judged
Hmm.
and they don't want to feel shamed and they don't want to feel mothered. So, I say that, and at the end of the day, listen, they've got to want to make the change.
Sure. Hmm.
I can point the things out and I can say, this is my opinion, this is what I see. And don't forget, I'm seeing how, 30 different people spend money every day, the same life. So I say, I'm just telling you objectively, this category is really high and this category is really high. And I think you're going to regret it later because you're not saving any money.
Hmm.
And they're usually very receptive. They don't get
Sure.
upset. Um, and if they're not ready, you can kind of tell, I'm sure when someone is ready to get the information. Sometimes we sort of like touch at it and then maybe a little later we touch at it again and then we're ready.
Yeah.
They're ready to hear it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not until they're really in trouble. I've had clients that have said, I want to buy a house. I want to buy it. And I will say, I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's going to put too much financial stress, you know, um, and they don't listen and they
Hmm.
buy it and then they get in trouble.
Yeah.
Now, I don't sit there and say, I told you so and shame them. But okay, well, now, we just also then try to help them get out of it. And, the biggest thing is sometimes they have to sell the house. And that's such a big decision for people,
Yeah.
right? That they don't want to do it. But sometimes it is the right decision.
For sure.
And once they do it, it's like breaking up. It's a big one, but once they do it, they feel better.
So let's talk about feeling better in the context of parents in kids and money conversations? I know you've written about this and you talk about this. I mean, I grew up like, for me, like my dad didn't tell me much about money, didn't teach me anything about money. The
Right.
only thing I learned from him is like, get what you need, buy what you need, not what you want. That was like what I kind of learned from him. Um, so how do you deal with two generations and empowering kids to learn more about money and working with the parents to teach the kids about money?
Okay, so I have to say, I think I have a little bit of an advantage
Hmm.
because I have a mother who's not only a child psychologist, but she coaches, worked with families, very high net worth families, on issues of wealth transference. So it's a similar thing, but she's a psychologist. So
I
she did,
need I need your mom's name.
yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing and she's very well regarded in her
That's
field,
cool.
niche field. But so she leads these multi generational family meetings.
Hmm.
So I've seen over the years how, you know, people will fly her
Wow.
and what doesn't work. So that's, and also I think because both of my parents were from the Midwest, they also had very grounded, they were both very conservative financially. So that was sort of ingrained in us. It's the same thing. My dad always said, you know, there's always more. The key to life is being happy with what you have. You'll always find somebody with more. And it was, and they always taught us you save. So neither of my parents were big spenders. They were savers. But yet we had everything that we needed. We never felt that we were denied anything.
How are
So
you applying that in business with your clients? Are you facilitating conversations with them to talk about this with their kids?
and you know, I have two kids. And so I always say just because you can afford it, you're doing your kids a disservice. And I really believe that. I really believe, and it starts when they're little. You know what it's like. Your kids go to the drugstore and they want a $3 toy.
Yeah.
Right? Not a, but it's just if you get them a $3 toy and then if I, it's just their constant, they're not developing the skill of delayed gratification for wanting something.
In balance, you know.
Balance. So, I mean, I think it starts young. I think it starts when they're teenagers to have an allowance and to figure it out. And we have those money conversations. I mean, my parents had them with us. I have them with my kids a lot just because I want them to, they don't know.
So how do you tell your clients to teach their kids about that? Do you give them advice on that? Do they ask you, or is it just kind of like a one-off deal?
Sometimes they ask me and I'll say, you know, look at the studies. It's not, it's, these aren't good choices to make for your kids' sake.
Hmm.
Right? And they always say, like, if somebody gave you, if you had a trust fund and you got that money at 18, you may not be so motivated to work at 18. You know, you have
Sure.
the maturity of an 18-year-old. If you get a trust fund and the money is coming to you at 50, 60, hopefully by then you've already worked and, you know, it's kind of a bonus. And so I think that my clients, um, you know, the ones that ask, that listen, that have kids, funny enough, we all have kids. A couple clients have older kids. Some have kids like same as my kids,
Hmm.
or a little younger.
Hmm.
You know, the ones with older ones, if they don't ask, I don't really know how their kids' relationship with money is. I don't always get into that if there's not a problem. So, I mean, I just kind of, if they ask me my opinion on it,
Hmm.
it's like when they're 16. You
Yeah.
know, my belief may be different. I don't think
Yeah.
a
For
16-year-old,
sure.
I don't care if it's free. If someone gave them a free Mercedes, probably not great to drive a Mercedes. That's just my personal belief.
I'm with you. I want to go back to this delayed gratification because I believe in it. I actually just shot a video on this. Like, building wealth is about delayed gratification. It's about investing. It's about compounding of interest. It takes time. You're not an instant success. It's like people nowadays, it's like, I want $5 million by tomorrow and 10 million TikTok people to follow me, or like whatever it is. It's like things take time and people need to see that and experience it. Everyone wants everything right now. And it's like, it takes time.
I think it's this generation, and I'm telling you, I think it's like My mom used to always say, if you want your teenagers to talk to you and you want to have open lines of communication with your teenagers, you have to start it when they're 5 and 6. They're not going to just come to you, you
Yeah.
know, if you haven't communicated with them at 16 and 17 and say, okay, now I'm ready to talk. It's
Hmm.
the same thing. Little ways make, if they want a little toy, they have to wait.
For sure.
Just helping them, it really is. And when they want, I mean, everything I remember as a kid, if I wanted something, you got it either, at the holidays or for your birthday or for a special occasion. That was it.
Um,
And for wealthy people, it's harder because they have the money.
yeah.
They want to do stuff. And so they're going to the Four Seasons and they're going to all these fancy restaurants. So, it's not fair for a kid to understand that maybe when they're going out with their friends, they don't need to go out to a fancy restaurant, right? They're supposed to go to, I don't know, Chipotle or McDonald's, or not McDonald's anymore, but right?
I think during this pandemic, it's taught people to have a newer relationship with their financial life, to really get clear on what they want and what kind of changes they want to make and what's important to them. I'm
Yeah.
curious what you're seeing with your clients and yourself about what you're noticing and learning about yourself and your clients during a pandemic.
It's funny that you say that because at the beginning of this pandemic, I have certain clients and I thought to myself, it's going to be interesting to see. These are clients that, no matter what, somehow can have a $50,000 credit card bill every month. But now people weren't allowed to go out to dinner and they weren't allowed to travel. And nobody was really wearing a lot of clothes because nobody's going anywhere. So, month 1 or 2, they were good. And then all of a sudden, every meal is Postmates and every meal is Grubhub and every meal is, delivered. And so they're sort of loosening the reins. And I've said, now is the time to save. Nobody really needs anything. You need to go to the market. You don't even need to spend money on gas. I mean, nobody was leaving. So for the most part, everybody's spending did go down.
Hmm.
I noticed that a lot of people then decided I'm redoing my house,
Yeah.
my landscaping. So
Yeah.
sort of shifted their spending, on that. It was good for a while, and people were nervous. And I think, listen, I work with a lot of people in the entertainment industry. So, the ones that had the rainy day fund were fine. The
Hmm.
ones that live right up to the edge, it's a problem.
Yeah.
I
For
mean,
sure.
it is a problem. And I say over and over and over again, at least 6 months. Whatever you're spending, at least 6 months. So if you're spending $100,000 a month, it's a lot of cash to have,
That is. That is. So
right?
let's go a little bit more into your money coaching. I think it's awesome. I love reading about it. I do a certain amount of it, but like I don't hold myself out as one, but I'm very well versed in it. Um, like how do you how are you going to grow that side of your business? So what's your intention with that and how is that going for you?
It's just been going so organically that it's been really nice. I mean, look, I am busy with the business management and I
Sure.
have a family, but I think that a lot of women are referred to me when they're getting a divorce, and not all of them can afford business management. That's not an inexpensive, commitment, and it's every month. So I'll say to them, you don't need business management. You need to learn. You need to just get educated, and you need to, and the money coaching will help because it's not that much of a commitment, right?
Hmm.
It's a couple months. It's like therapy.
Yeah.
Um, and they really enjoy it. And so then one has referred another. And I don't know, which is kind of how my business management practice grew as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I've never really advertised because how could you advertise and
Yeah.
trust somebody with your money? So but it's fascinating because no two people are alike, no two stories are alike. I'm able to have really, here's the thing, I don't think people are comfortable talking about money and their fears with money with very many people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are in therapy, but they don't talk about money when they're in therapy. So I think they feel, okay, this is a designated place that I can say, I'm a total screw up. I don't know what to do. I always overspend. And then I'm at night, I feel bad and I feel shameful and I'm nervous and I'm scared. And it's like a safe space.
How do you create the safe space?
Well, I think I'm very non judgmental. So,
Hmm.
I have yet to hear something and I'm like, oh my God, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
So, I try to tell people it's amazing. I mean, I'm working with one guy right now, and he's so hard on himself. He's such a great human being. He's a great guy with so many great qualities.
Hmm.
And he's focusing on the three behaviors that are not great as opposed to the 30 that are great. So sometimes it's just nice to keep hearing from somebody. Let's focus less on that and let's focus more on the positive. You've made great strides. I mean, in the first 2 weeks that I started working with him, he was able to cut back, and I think he was already able to cut like $90,000 off their annual budget in 2 weeks.
It's great.
So
I
he keeps
think, yeah, I mean, just the progress, and when your clients see progress, they're going to stick through it and make that change. I think that's really big.
if you have, it's like if you're losing weight and you have 150 pounds to
Yeah.
lose,
Hmm.
and you lose 20, you still feel like I've got so much more to lose, but you
Yeah.
just lost 20.
Yeah.
Focus on what you did,
Yeah.
little by little.
It's
So,
all about how you frame it.
and I really get a lot of satisfaction out of seeing the change, out of helping people. I just, like I said, it's when they say, what do you do that gives you the most pleasure, right? If you could do anything, like if you, that's what I like to do. I would do it for, I mean, I don't do it for free, but I would do it for free because I love it that much.
Okay,
And
I'm
I
challenging.
really feel for women when they're getting a divorce, they need it. They have so
Yeah.
much going on. There's like an emotional mess. They just need a calm, steady, non-judgmental voice to say, "You got this. You're going to get
Hmm.
through it." Even if
Hmm.
it's not true, even if like
Yeah.
I know they're getting ready to head into really bumpy waters and it's not going to be great. In the beginning, they don't need to hear that, right? So I try to do that as much as I can.
I love it. All right, I'm challenging you here. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I am. I might have already said this because when we spoke before, but you need to coach like a group of women. Like you need like 20 women in a room and coach them in a group and break them out into groups and have them learn and talk with one another. They can still work with you one on one, but if you let a group,
I
there's
know
something about a group that's awesome. I've led groups, I've been in groups. It's a great thing.
it's a great thing. I totally agree with you, Justin. That will be I will take that challenge on. I think the number should be a little smaller. I think the number should be like 8 to 10 because nobody likes to sit in a circle and hear 19 stories.
No, no, but let's say you have 8 to 10, then you break them up into groups of two, four groups of two, if you want that. I just think there's power in the collective, and I think you'd be good at it. So that's my challenge number one. Challenge number two is, Carrie, you have to write a book.
God, I gotta get some time.
You got to write a book.
These days, I was telling you, the days go so fast.
Yeah.
Um,
You know what you should do? Like dictate into a phone and just start talking. And just start talking about, like, take the content and the data from this podcast, have it transcribed, put it in a file, keep getting all of your content in a file. Then it's your voice. It's everything is in your voice. And
right.
then someone can package it word for word in what you say, not by adding anything, but just structuring like, oh, this is about money spending. This is about parents and kids. This is about, budgeting or whatever. And the next thing you know, you've got something there that you're going to give the rest of the world, that was downloaded from your parents to you and you to everyone else, not just your kids. You got to do it.
I'll do it. Don't you think there's a million books out there?
Correct, but it's not yours with your voice.
Well, that's true, but there's a lot of books.
Yeah. Um, when I wrote my book, it was more about building a platform for myself. But now people are like, "Oh my God, I bought your book, I read it, I love it," and I forgot I wrote it. But
Right.
I'm beginning to be like, "Oh, this is something that I can leave behind for the world."
Maybe I'll do that. Those
Cool.
are my two challenges, 2021.
Yes. So, just a few final questions. Like, if you were to look out like 1 year,
Mhm.
what is your like word of the year? What is your one word that really speaks to you around your life?
Oh my God, grateful and healthy.
Wow.
Keep a, I started this, I don't know, a month ago or whatever, this sort of gratitude intention journal, because I believe in writing stuff down, and they talk about your burning desire. Every day above anything else, I say healthy.
Mm.
If you're not healthy, it doesn't matter what you have, and it doesn't matter what you don't have. So healthy always comes the health of myself and my family. I'm telling you, every night when I go to bed, I mean, thank God that today everybody was healthy. Today everybody had what they needed, and I'm grateful.
That's amazing.
I'm really good about that, because who knows tomorrow? I mean, if we have learned anything from this year, is that, and the other night I was watching the news before I went to bed, which for me is a big mistake. And between the election and between all of these smear campaigns for these local politicians, Michelle Steele is the worst politician ever in Orange County. I mean, you've seen those
Yeah.
commercials, those ads.
Yeah.
And then it was the night that the Dodgers won. And so there was some unrest down in downtown LA, and people were looting. And then there was unrest in Philadelphia. And then between COVID, and I was up at 3 a.m. I just thought, I mean, who knows, right? Tomorrow somebody could get COVID and die.
So what's your takeaway on the news?
Oh, my personal takeaway when I go to bed at night, you're better off watching Seinfeld before you go to bed.
Oh my God. Totally. I love Seinfeld. I actually try to watch some of that before I go to bed because it's a show about nothing and it makes me laugh and it neutralizes everything.
Watch Seinfeld before I go to bed. I do not like to watch the news before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't think those are the last images I want to go to sleep with.
Yeah.
So, but my takeaway is I hope that people sort of took this time to realize what's important, which is really our health and our family and our relationships. Because the stuff, I don't know about you, I've been wearing the same 4 things for 9 months. Like
For
the
sure.
same outfits, right?
I love it, Carrie.
So I think that, you go, the stores are empty. I don't know where anyone's going in that stuff, and nobody's eating out, and it's been fine. I mean, I don't really miss, I could be okay. I miss seeing friends. I miss going to friends' houses, but I'm okay if I don't go to a movie theater for a while. I'm okay if I don't just,
For sure. Yeah.
I'm not.
One last question for you. So let's say you're right out of college
Yeah.
and you're getting into business management
Right.
and money coaching.
Yes.
What, and you had to write yourself a letter, like the 20-year-old Carrie.
Oh.
What would you tell her?
Well, the thing is, I would hope that the 20-year-old Carrie would have gotten a little more information when she was 16. I think our schools do a huge disservice still teaching antiquated math instead of basic finance to our high school kids.
Mm-hmm.
They get into college when they're going to get all. I just spoke to a high school, seniors in high school, an all-girls school. And I said, listen, next year you're going to be bombarded with all these credit card applications. You're going to be for the first time maybe now they didn't because it was before the pandemic, but we're not taught that anywhere in school, and the calculus and the trigonometry isn't going to help them. But I would tell them the same thing my dad told me, really figure out what's a need and a want and what's a habit. I mean, I tell that to my 16-year-old. And she's like, I need to get my nails done. I need to do this. I go, those are all, I want to go to Soul Cycle. I want to go here. I said, those are all expensive habits. And once you get started, you're not going to want to stop. So don't start. Learn how to do it yourself. So I think, and I always say the girls that work for me in my office, when I interview, girls, I always tell them, this is the best job you'll ever have.
That's great.
And anytime they leave, they say, I've learned so much. It's really been great and eye-opening. And they learn little bits about insurance. And, when you're dealing with that, there's all of these ins and outs of insurance and mistakes that you can make that even I've made. You always say you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely.
I just had like the craziest thing and here I am a business manager. You'd think I would know, but I'm not an insurance expert.
Mm-hmm.
And what it was, I'm going to say it so that nobody else ever makes this mistake. My insurance company said, oh, there's a policy you can get that will cover just your laptops and your cell phones, and it has its own deductible. So if anything ever happens, it's only a $250 deductible. And I thought, that's fantastic. It was like hardly any money. So one time my son broke his computer, not a problem. It was $250. They sent me a check for like $500 and something. He got a new computer. Another time, my iPad, I had a brand new iPad, I left it on a plane. Oh, not a problem. It's $250. They sent me another check. You know what I didn't realize now? That went on my homeowners. So now it looks like I have these two
Claims.
nonsense claims on my homeowners.
Yeah.
Mistake.
Yeah. You know what? You're really just talking about being aware and acting on what you know. And if you don't know, get yourself well versed on the fact that you don't and learn.
But you don't know. I mean, how do you expect somebody who's working?
Yeah, but yes, but the application for people who are listening is they might not know that they don't know what's going on with their finances and with their money. And if they can talk to someone like you for money coaching, right? Or someone like me for financial planning or investment management, they at least know that there's a resource and that they need to deal with it.
And we need to talk to our kids. We talk to our kids about everything, but simple things that your kids will have to deal with. And what's a deductible? What's a like all of those terms? I don't know why we can't talk to our high school kids about it. I mean, I was telling my kids about this silly mistake, and I mean, we need to have more conversations with our kids about it. Women need to feel more comfortable talking to their women friends about it. I think it's a underutilized part of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's kind of ashamed. I'm sure men don't talk to their guy friends about if they're financially irresponsible, but it is a proven fact that men that have wealthy friends, let's say your guy friend says, hey, Justin, I'm putting together a fund. It's going to be great. Do you want to go in? You're more likely to say, yeah, I'm interested. Let me see. And women, if I said to a friend, hey, I'm putting together this fund, do you want to see? Women tend to say, oh, you've just made me uncomfortable. Now I feel like you've overstepped our friendship bound.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Proven. That's why women don't invest as much as men. So I think the conversations have to change.
Awesome. Well, Carrie, you have been great. Where can people go to get more information about you?
They can go to my website at summitla.com, and it's all on there.
Summitla.com. Thank you so much. It was great to have you on.
You too. Thanks, Justin.
Have a question? Want to get in touch with us? Need some help and advice with your finances? Just go to coolmoneyshow.com and reach out to us. That's coolmoneyshow.com.
Krane Financial Solutions is an SEC registered investment advisor. However, such registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and no inference to the contrary should be made. A copy of our current written disclosure statement discussing our advisory services and fees is available upon request. Information contained herein is for informational and illustrative purposes only and general in nature. It should not be considered specific financial planning or investment advice, or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of securities or other investment products. No investment decision should be made based solely on any information provided herein. We do not provide legal, accounting, or tax services. We recommend that all investors seek out the services of competent professionals in any of the aforementioned areas. Certain information provided has been obtained from third-party sources that we believe reliable. However, it's not been independently verified and is not guaranteed.